hanging. I'm like, no. Please no. Play it again. One more time. I'll wait for why this really dance. I was like, wait, drops. Stars and stripes. Stars and panic dance. I'm having a problem with S's. Is that my math teacher? Well, that was my teacher's here. I think it's good. I think we're okay. Quite good. I'm having a list after I play for a while. What? What's happening? Well, I know that. My list was happening. What? What's yawning? For you. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're something. Oh, I know. The face nobody has ever seen. I thought that was a funny joke. The face.
blankly on music. I'm just on playing. I'm not reading anything.
Oh man, that used to be my thing in marching.
Guys, I brought my spitballs today. I brought them. None of y'all remembered, but I remembered.
Thank you for remembering.
This morning I was singing Colonel Bogey in the shower.
You guys cannot leave.
I'm singing basic shit.
And before you see it.
But I was singing my part, and I was like, what song is this? Yes.
They sing that song. It's a parody of Star Wars from back in the 80s.
Yes.
It's all same people, stole the androids in the original Star Wars, but it's Spaceballs.
Yeah.
They're singing that while they're marching, dragging robots.
That's funny. We need to go with this. I'm not dragging no whatever.
They're about to make the Spaceballs too.
Are they?
Yeah. They brought Star Wars.
Yeah, boy.
May the Force be with you.
Oh, yeah, there's been a fort.
I can't do that. I hate to.
It's like, aren't you wearing a Star Wars shirt? And I'm like,
Gotta plug in
I
fingers.
can't do it. Okay, for one, you know, I just can't.
Spock, that's
For
Spock.
two-
Nice Star Wars. What's y'all doing?
See, I
one
can't.
time I dressed up as Spock because it was out of this school day at school.
No, I can't.
And I was like,
Like,
live on your roster. And Mr. Butcher goes, live short and die.
I mean, you're things you can do, but one thing you
I can't.
I'm never gonna forget that.
Yeah, that's why every time I conduct, I'm like crescendo, and then I'm like, because Sky will be like, put your fingers together. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Sky, I'm trying.
I did too many clockwise stuff. Not keep my fingers together. I thought that was legit.
I'm leaving. I can't do this. I saved my chairs.
But I
Good evening and welcome to Roane State Community College's second of 3 commencement celebrations. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for the presentation of our national and state flags, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Color Guard, please present the colors.
Rifles, right shoulder, arms. Detail, forward, march. Detail, halt. Detail, left, face. Rifles, order, arms. Detail, present, arms.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Detail, order, arms. Rifles, right shoulder, arms. Detail, right face. Detail, forward, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank the Bowers Elementary School Color Guard in Harriman for presenting our national and state colors. Thank you so much. We would also like to thank the Roane State Jazz Band under the direction of Dr. Joel Greenlee for their musical performances this evening. Would you please give them a well-deserved round of applause? And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would please remain standing for our invocation, Mr. Odell Fern, Director of Human Resources here at Roane State, will deliver this evening's invocation.
Let us pray. Our almighty and merciful God, in whom we live and move and have our very being, we come to you with praise and thanksgiving for the blessings of this day and of this occasion. We rejoice with these graduates and their families and pray your continued blessings upon them as they commence a new chapter in their lives. We pray that the knowledge they have gained will replace fear and mistrust, give them confidence and competence in their chosen fields, and that a broader perspective of tolerance and understanding will result from their time spent here. As they take up new challenges, we pray that they will make us proud as they enjoy good and productive lives. Bless this college, its faculty and staff and leadership, that we all may continue to work together to deliver an education of quality and good reputation. And may the desire to continue to learn and serve characterize all who partake of the Roane State experience. Grant us grace and forgiveness, temperance and compassion, patience and kindness, goodness and courage of conviction. Direct us in all our ways and keep us safe and secure in the knowledge of your everlasting love. We humbly pray. Amen.
Thank you, Odell, and you may be seated. In 1971, this institution was created by the Tennessee legislature, and it was named after the second governor of the state of Tennessee, Mr. Archibald Roane. Now, prior to his election, Governor Roane made the Delaware River crossing with George Washington in 1776, and he was present at the surrender of Cornwallis at Yorktown. He was also a member of the Tennessee State Constitutional Convention in 1796 and was elected as governor of Tennessee and served in that capacity from 1801 through 1803. Now, during his term as governor, he served as trustee of Tennessee's first three colleges, Blount College, which of course now is the University of Tennessee, as well as Greenville College and Washington College, which once merged, now we know as Tusculum College. So it is very fitting that Roane State Community College is named after him. And on behalf of our faculty, our staff, and our students, it gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to Roane State Community College's commencement ceremony for 2018. Thank you so much for joining us. Professor Julie Hall was the mace bearer this evening, and she led the faculty into the hall with our college mace. Now, Julie is one of the three finalists for the Sarah Ellen Benroe Outstanding Faculty Award, and the winner of that award will be announced in the fall, during our convocation ceremony. I'd like to also thank Professors Ted Strike and Dr. Terry Gergen, who served this evening as our faculty marshals. Thank you very much. Post-retirement is a program at Roane State in which some retiring faculty members elect to teach part-time with the college for a term of up to 4 years. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the faculty members who are ending or entering post-retirement this semester. Those faculty members who are ending post-retirement include Professors Dave Harjula, Pat Pate, and Senator Ken Yeager. Those faculty members entering post-retirement include Professors Mike Goggin, Deborah Palatinas, Marcia Slush, and Bill West. And I would please ask the faculty members either ending or entering post-retirement who are in attendance this evening if you would please stand at this time. During Roane State's 3 commencement ceremonies, we are gathering to celebrate over 1,300 graduates, a record for Roane State, by the way, who have reached a major milestone in their lives. And I offer to each one of the graduates here this evening our commendation as well as our congratulations for achieving your degree or certificate. We are so pleased to honor you as our graduating class of 2018, and we welcome you tonight into Roane State's alumni ranks. In fact, at this point, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the fact that I'm certain there are Roane State alumni in the audience this evening. So please, if you have been, or if you are a Roane State graduate, or if you have ever attended Roane State as a student and you are in our audience tonight, would you please stand wherever you are? Graduates, I encourage you to remain in contact with our alumni office. We really want to know the great things that you're going on to accomplish, all of your milestones, and as well, we would like to be able to share ways in which you may choose to support future Roane State students as they work toward their degrees and their certificates. Now, while we consider each one of you a special guest here tonight, there are certain individuals who have joined us tonight who are worthy of special recognition, and we'd like to do that right now. And I would ask these folks to please stand while I introduce them. First of all, tonight's speaker, Jason Pallant. If you'll stand, please, sir. We welcome our distinguished commencement speaker, and of course, I will share more about Jason before his address in just a few moments. We'd also like to specifically welcome Rachel Lane. Rachel is the recipient of the 2017-2018 President's Award. I'd also like to introduce in the guest section here my wife Cindy. I'm in trouble for making her stand up. That's okay. And folks, you may notice that we have an empty chair in the graduating class, and folks, you may be seated. This empty seat is for student Austin Jacob Knight, an 18-year-old student who tragically passed away from injuries that he suffered in a car accident February 17th of this year. In the tragic event of a student's death during an academic term in which the student would have completed all of their coursework, we are permitted to award a degree posthumously to that student. Austin would have completed all of his coursework for his emergency medical technician technical certificate this semester. And we are so blessed and honored this evening to have Austin's parents, BJ and Amanda Hillard, his brother Finn, and his girlfriend Tegan Couch here with us this evening. And I would like to ask Austin's mom, Amanda, if she will follow in behind the last student walking across the stage this evening, if she will accept Austin's certificate on his behalf. With that being said, would you please join me in welcoming all of our special guests tonight? At this time, I would also like to introduce other members of the stage party that will participate in the commencement ceremony this evening. Again, if you will please stand as I call your names. On your right is Dr. Diane Ward, who is our Chief Academic Officer and the Vice President for Student Learning. On the second row, Dr. Patricia Jenkins, Dean of Nursing and Surg Tech and Interim Dean of Allied Health Sciences. Dr. Don Lanza, Dean of Social Science, Business, and Education. On the third row, Dr. Myra Peavyhouse, Dean of Humanities. Dr. Marcus Pomper, Dean of Mathematics and Sciences. And Professor Mike Farmer, Faculty Senate President. Now, on the second row on your left, Scott Neerman. He is the Executive Director of the Roane State Foundation. Once again, Professor Julie Hall, our faculty mace bearer. And once again, Mr. Odell Fern, Director of Human Resources at Roane State Community College. A round of applause, please, for our stage party. We're so honored tonight to welcome our commencement speaker, Jason Pallant. Jason grew up in East Knoxville, and he graduated from the University of Tennessee with a bachelor's degree in nutrition and food science, as well as a master's degree in business and a concentration in IT project management from Lincoln Memorial University. Jason joined Covenant Health 12 years ago, and he has worked for the parent company Covenant Corporate, LeConte Medical Center, Fort Sanders Regional, and now Roane Medical Center. While at Roane Medical the last 5 years, he has served as Vice President and Chief Operating Officer. Currently, he is the President and Chief Administration Officer for that facility. Jason is a fellow in the American College of Healthcare Executives and past president and board member for the East Tennessee Healthcare Executives Association. He is a board member of both the Michael Dunn Center and the Roane Alliance, and he is also a member of the Roane County Emergency Service Committee, as well as a member of the Harriman Rotary Club. He is also a graduate of Roane County Leadership in 2015, as well as East Tennessee Regional Leadership in 2017. Jason is married to Christy. He has 3 sons, Carson, Spencer, and AJ. That keeps him extremely active with school and extracurricular activities, and we are so thankful he has agreed to be our speaker tonight. Would you please join me in welcoming Jason Pallant?
Thank you so much, Dr. Whaley. Class of 2018, alumni, staff, and distinguished guests, I'm very honored to be here with you tonight. We are here to celebrate this class's accomplishments of obtaining your degrees and certificates. You ambitiously set a goal, and you went out to obtain it. The journey may have sometimes appeared long, but what you have achieved has put you on a path that will change your life. Radiology, sleep medicine, dental hygienists, EMS, respiratory therapy, physical and occupational therapy, CSTs, pharmacy, HIM, patient informatics. Know you're in a foundation in healthcare people don't always consider, yet your specialties help paint the full picture that physicians and nurses rely upon to accurately treat patients and prepare their care plans. I'm proud of the careers that you have chosen in these areas of healthcare and know that you will be embarking on a highly successful career. Some of you will be leaving here going to your first job. Others have been in a workforce but yet decided to make a change. But all of you will be starting a new journey, and for that, I do congratulate you. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "The 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step. Your step starts today." As you begin, take time to enjoy your journey, learn from it, and grow as a professional and as a person. This will prepare you for all the twists and turns you'll encounter along your way. I look out here tonight and I see the next wave of caregivers, leaders, and innovators in an industry that needs your fresh eyes coming to its workforce. Healthcare represents 20% of our country's economy through spending. At least 20 million people working in a healthcare role, and an expected 4 million more needed by 2022. This is with 80% of adults stating that they have utilized some type of healthcare service or need this past year, according to a recent Center of Disease survey. We need your help now more than ever. With that, I just want to take a few moments here tonight to give you some thoughts and ideas to share as you take the next step of your journeys. First, I would tell you to find a mentor. Face it, even though you have studied, passed tests, and are receiving your certificates and degrees, you just don't know everything. And that's okay. You aren't 10 foot tall and bulletproof, nor is that expected. You will need advice, counsel, support, and direction throughout your lives and career. Look to those who have been there before you and have made mistakes and aren't scared to admit it. Find people you trust and can learn from their journeys. There's nothing more gratifying than listening to and taking some good advice. You just have to take the time to pay attention to it. Many famous last words have been, "I just wish I would have listened to that advice when he or she had told me." Never be ashamed to ask for help when you are unsure of something, especially in your work. It will only make you better. And there is strength in admitting that you just don't know everything. It is better to take a moment, appear unsure, and ask a question rather than appear arrogant and jump to the wrong conclusion, especially if there is patient safety or yours involved. Someday in life, and some of you sooner than others, will be asked to be a mentor. Take the time to develop and inspire the person that comes along behind you. Giving good advice is just as gratifying as taking it. Look for opportunities to teach and share. Don't be of the mindset to think they can just figure it out themselves or struggle like I had to. A helpful spirit builds much needed camaraderie in an often stressful work environment. I can tell you, and really be truthful, I struggle to know when am I ready to be a mentor or an advisor? When do I know enough to play this crucial role to someone else? Is it the amount of years I've been in a position working? Is it the amount of gray hairs on my head? Is it I needed to complete so many of Stephen Covey's development books? If you're taking that kind of time to lament upon if you have met criteria to give advice or be a mentor, then trust me, you are ready. People who have sat in those very chairs that you're sitting in right now have developed and grown and become mentors and leaders. For example, the current respiratory manager, radiology manager, lab manager, and nurse manager at Roane Medical are all graduates of Roane State Community College. And they are now seeing people who are coming along and starting their careers just like they did in the same way you'll begin. They today are mentoring and developing individuals in their professions. Remember this, it is a great circle of knowledge that we all are a part of. Don't leave your piece out in it. My next thought to you really tonight is quite frank and straight to the point. Healthcare is a tough industry, and it is always changing. One that is constantly in the media or being battled on a political front, economists and pundits trying to determine just how much should be spent or what the cost should be. It is one that people have a very opinionated thought on how it should or shouldn't be administered. And on top of all that, and this is my opinion, it has one of the most complicated vocabularies, and every word's abbreviated. Now, this is my opinion here, but I don't understand why we have to say proximal and distal when front and back would work just fine. That is my opinion. But despite all those things, big and small, you are entering a profession that is one of the most rewarding. You have the opportunity to help people. Some won't know they need the help. Others may refuse it. You will have some patients that are the most challenging and others that are the most grateful. Treat them all as if they were friends or family, because they are someone's, and you should never lose sight of that. Remember, unlike such industries as restaurants, hotels, and retail, most people aren't excited nor looking forward to coming to see you. I hate to be the bearer of that news. Think of the excitement you feel when you go to eat at a new restaurant, perhaps like you may do tonight after this ceremony. Or you get to take a vacation and stay at a nice hotel or resort for a week after a long years of work. Or you went and shopped for a new outfit like many of you wearing tonight because you know it'll make you look great and feel good to be here at this ceremony. Now, compare that to someone saying, I have to go to the hospital and get a test performed. Yay! Or perhaps, I'm having some chest pain, but I get to ride in the back of an ambulance. Awesome! You will be in an industry where people are often scared, unsure, feel uninformed, or worried financially. We have to work harder than any industry to not only have the skill to treat that person from a physical standpoint, but also the insight and compassion to care for them emotionally. As you know, there is a science to healthcare, which you have learned here at Roane State, but there is also an art to healthcare, and it is a combination of both skill and empathy that makes healthcare professionals be the best that they can be. Learn both and practice both throughout your career. Do you remember homonyms from English class? Words that sound the same but have different meaning? Think of this. A patient, when being used as a noun, is defined as a person who is receiving medical treatment. The same word being used as an adjective is defined as being able to tolerate problems or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. It takes patience to treat and care for patients. Never lose or ignore that fact. I'll move on to my next point. As you start your career, I challenge you to always remember your connects to purpose, the purpose being the who or the why. Let me explain a moment. There is no greater compliment in healthcare than to make such an impact in care that a patient or a family member of the patient wants to stop and personally thank you, or tell others about the care they or their loved one received. Many times there is a story they share in a note, a phone call, or perhaps just a kind word they tell you, a coworker, or maybe even a boss. I can tell you in my role, I have the opportunity to hear and share Connect to Purpose stories, and they are the most touching and really reminds me every day how important all roles can play in treating our patients. It also demonstrates the fine thread to where each of you have individuals move through your portion of the patient experience and how each area can make an impact on the whole. Such a story was recently shared with me in an email I received from a retired hospital administrator. He had brought a family member to Roane Medical's emergency department, and he shared his experience with me. He really made reference to each of the individuals they came in contact with while at our facility and just how special not only the administering of skill was, but the compassion. And they went out of their way to make sure his loved one felt safe and informed the entire visit. Now, of course, this retired administrator didn't have to take the time to send me a note, but he had an experience, and he felt so strongly about it he was moved to share it, as many times a lot of people do. What a proud moment for me to be able to take that information and communicate that praise to our staff, to remind them that their efforts do not go unnoticed nor unappreciated. Keep stories in Connects to Purpose like this, whether it be a note or a memory, and during times in your career when you run across challenging moments or need some clarity, take those out and refer to them to remind you what it's all about and that what you do matters. Be ready for your Connect to Purpose. Take strength from those moments. Take pride and use that Connect to find your next one. Build upon each to make your career legacy and use them as inspiration to make a change or enhancement that moves you further in the healthcare industry journey. My next piece of advice to you is to be a lifelong learner. You hear that, but what does it mean? I stressed to you earlier, you would not know everything, and the importance of finding a good mentor through your careers, knowing people who have that experience and knowledge who can teach and motivate you. But in addition to that, you need to continue to reach out and look to obtain more information about your profession and challenge yourself to push past your comfort levels for new opportunities. Find classes, seminars, books, professional organizations that can help introduce you to new skills, concepts, and people that you don't already know. I can tell you when I started out in my profession, I knew I wanted to be in leadership, and later in my career, I was given the opportunity to manage some staff. But I soon realized that it was harder to manage people and personalities than it was my daily tasks and roles, so I knew I needed more information. I started by reading some leadership books and taking some management courses, but then I heard about a professional organization nationally that also had a local chapter. I began to research the group and started attending some of the meetings. I quickly noticed it was a great resource to hear speakers and read papers on leadership and how it influenced healthcare overall. I was able to network with individuals like myself with a wide range of experience, titles, and areas and backgrounds. They were clinical, non-clinical, hospital, manufacturing, medical office, pharmaceutical, IT, and other. It became a collaborative and drew me into volunteering for that organization, which put me on the local board and ultimately in the path to serve as their local chapter president. But all that time learning, meeting, and networking with people. On top of that, crafting myself to be a stronger leader, manager, and then mentor. That's just an example of being a lifelong learner and never shutting your mind to new ideas and experiences, especially in this healthcare industry. It's one that changes rapidly, and staying plugged in is what transpires and developing is your responsibility as your roles are helping to take care of people. And you need to always be on your game and willing and wanting to be your best for them because they deserve it. And if you or your family would want to know that people taking care of them were experts at their skill. I'll now take a moment just to share another Connect to Purpose story that also echoes being a lifelong learner. A nurse from Roane Medical, who's also a graduate of this college, was recently recognized at a national level as a nominee and recipient for what's known as the Daisy Award. This award is for compassion and was created by a family who was touched by the empathy and caring spirit they saw a nurse give their family member that was battling a chronic disease that ultimately took his life. Our nurse, who was a case manager, had worked with a hospice patient whose family lived out of town but was really trying to stay involved with the patient's care. When this one family member came in and saw the amount of care and compassion our case manager had given her loved one, she was so touched, she wrote multiple letters expressing her gratitude. Her comments turned out to be even more impactful as she herself was a nurse. That letter was sent on to the Daisy Foundation, and our clinician was selected as one of their winners. This particular caregiver I speak of demonstrates the lifelong learner aspect as she reached past her comfort zone and her experiences. For the majority of her entire career, she'd been a medical nurse working on a floor, but she was interested, and besides just being at the bedside, and wanted to look into case management. These are the people and individuals who work with patients on needs beyond the hospital and preparing a care plan as they discharge, whether that be therapy needs, medical equipment needs, pharmaceutical needs, physician office follow-ups, long-term care placement, and of course hospice. People in this role are also advocates for patients on medical and social needs that might impact their health even long after they leave the hospital. This nurse continued her education, got her certification, and went on to pursue this role, moving outside her comfort zone to find a different path to make that difference. You just never know what you can do or be, but taking the time to want to learn and grow can take you far beyond even this point you are today. My final point here tonight is to ask each of you, if not currently doing so, to please take the time to volunteer and serve in your communities or areas that you will work or live, whether that be locally, regionally, nationally, or globally. You have chosen careers that will have you working to take care of people. You're either treating, helping, or communicating information to them. This should then point you in the direction to serve past just your daily job. It is something to be paid to serve, but it is inspirational to serve a person or cause by volunteering your time, your skills, and your talents. There's so many worthwhile organizations trying to carry out a much-needed mission for humanity, but can't always pay for the resources they need to do so. To give of yourself when called upon, accepting is a fantastic way to give back and to show your true character. There is such a sense of balance in doing so. You can look past working for responsibility and more so for inner peace. With all that, we all have talents, and when you can share those with just the heartfelt calling to do so, and not because you are owed or expected, will keep you focused on really what the biggest gift is, and that there is more than you as an individual, and that is us as a society. In closing, I hope you'll be able to take something away with you from the words I've shared. If it has caused you to think a little more or want to learn a little more, then I have truly reached my goal. In addition to that, I just want to put this last challenge, summarizing the points I've covered to you, to be bold, be insightful, be dedicated, and be prepared to make a difference. Not settle for what feels comfortable, but reach beyond your grasp to truly see how far you can go, what you can learn, and truly, truly what you can achieve. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for your career choice, and may God bless you all your life and your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jason, for that message and the inspiration and challenge that you have presented to the members of the class will serve them well, certainly for many years to come. At this time, we would like to ask our President's Award recipient, Rachel Lane, to make a few remarks about the impact that Roane State has made on her while obtaining her academic goals. Rachel is the daughter of Sam and Angie Lane of Kingston. She is an AS transfer major with plans to transfer to the University of Tennessee to complete her bachelor's degree in mathematics. Rachel was also the winner of the 2017 Outstanding Freshman Award. She is also captain of the women's basketball team and was named a TCCAA Distinguished Scholar Athlete. She is a summer intern for Mideast Community Action Agency in Roane and Loudoun counties, and she is very active in her church at Kingston United Methodist. Rachel volunteers at the Love Kitchen and also reads to students at Kingston and Midway Elementary for Read Across America. Would you please welcome to the podium Rachel Lane.
If you had a hammer right now, what would you do with it? Wait, don't answer that yet. Looking around the room here, if Mr. Darren York had a hammer, he might use it to do new renovations to the Princess Theater. If Jamie Martin back there had a hammer, he might use it to fix his car that seems to always be broken down. If President Whaley had a hammer, he might use it to build new classrooms for us here at Roane State. I'll tell you that if I had a hammer, I would go over there and fix that basketball goal rim that's been broken for 2 months. Now, I know you're wondering why I'm talking about hammers right now, but don't worry, I'll get to it. When President Whaley first asked me to speak about the impact that Roane State has had on my life, I was stuck. I just couldn't seem to find the right words to say. So I turned to music. I thought that maybe I could use a song as a metaphor for our experiences here at Roane State. While looking for a song, several came to mind. I could sum up our years here at Roane State using one line of lyrics by Rihanna: work, 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 work. Or I could use Kelly Clarkson's famous lyrics: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But instead, I'm going to use the lyrics of the 1970s hit by Peter, Paul, and Mary, If I Had a Hammer. Now, for some of us, this song is before our time, so if you haven't heard it, the song is about finding your figurative hammer and using it to do good, to help others, to change the world around you. Being at Roane State has helped us to find our hammer. Your hammer might be a stethoscope, a calculator, a judge's gavel. Your hammer might be a scalpel, a paintbrush, a police badge. Maybe your hammer is an actual hammer. And maybe you haven't exactly found your hammer yet. And that's okay too. You will. It takes time. But whatever your hammer is, or whatever it will be, it's up to you now to take it and use it. Use it to build yourself a successful life. Now, your question probably is now, well, how do I do that? How do I build a successful life? What is success? Well, if you recall, at the beginning of this speech, I asked you what you would do with a hammer if you had one. And I bet that no two people in this entire room thought of the exact same thing that they would do with their hammer. Success does not mean the same thing to everyone. Your success cannot be determined by how much money you make, what kind of car you drive, where you live, what someone else thinks of you. Your success is determined by whether you are happy. And if you are happy and you are using your life to help other people, then you are successful. And the only way to truly achieve this success is to step out of your comfort zone and take a risk. I remember the very first time I walked into this gym. I was 10 years old, coming to basketball camp. The moment I walked into this gym, I was immediately terrified because this gym looked so big and so frightening. But now, looking around at the exact same gym, it really isn't that big. And the reason it isn't that big anymore is because that day, when I was 10 years old, I took a risk. I walked into this gym despite my fears telling me not to, and I made the most of it. I reached out to other people and made friends. I helped other people and let those other people help me too. And by the end of the week, it just didn't seem that big or frightening anymore. And now, it's time for all of us to do that exact same thing. It's time for all of us, when we leave here today with our diploma, to step out of our comfort zone and take a risk. Take your hammer, your stethoscope, your scalpel, your calculator, whatever it is, and use it to help other people. Roane State Community College, class of 2018, I will leave you today with the exact same question that I started with. What will you do with your hammer?
Rachel, thank you so much, not only for the words that you've shared, but also for being such an outstanding representative of Roane State Community College. At this time, please, Dr. Diane Ward, our Chief Academic Officer, will present the Student Awards.
The recipients of this award are degree-seeking students who have only attended Roane State and will graduate summa cum laude, having achieved a 4.0 college-level grade point average. We have 20 receiving a 4.0 Achievement Academic Award this year. One of those recipients is in this ceremony. Please stand when I call your name. John Wiley. Please give a round of applause to John, our Academic Achievement Award winner.
At this time, we would like to recognize our veterans who are graduating today. Roane State is very proud of the veterans who returned to college after their service to the United States of America. Would our graduating veterans please stand at this time? You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Dr. Ward, please prepare the class of 2018 for graduation.
President Whaley, these students have completed the requirements for the associate degree or certificate. On behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present them to you and ask that you confer upon them the appropriate degree. If the candidates would please rise.
And by the authority vested in me by the Tennessee Board of Regents and the state of Tennessee, I hereby confer upon you in each of your respective groups the Associate of Applied Science degree, the Associate of Science degree, or appropriate certificate with full privileges, honors, responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassels to the left. We would invite you to please come forward at this time to receive your degree or appropriate certificate.
Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Dental Hygiene, Sydney Catherine Bailey, cum laude. Natalie Elizabeth Beeler. Rachel Leanne East, cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Fox. Bianca Ann Gordon. Veronica Kuhn, cum laude. Jessica Paige Rickman, cum laude. Kelly Leanne Talent. Carrie Elizabeth Wheeler. Latasha Renee Wigington. Katie George Zielinski. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Health Information Management, Stephanie D. Abbott. Brittany Leanne Inslee, Associate of Applied Science in Health Information, also receiving medical coding, and an Associate of Science. Kayla Ray Frost, cum laude. Veronica V. Frunza. Jennifer Lee Gill, cum laude. Ryan Dale Ham. Chastity Marie McMillan. Adriana Lachey Growner. Daniel Keith Purdue. Charlie Lene Ruby. Maria Ann Stone. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Health Science, also receiving the paramedic, Andrew Johnston Albertson. Joe Bell Jr., U.S. Army. Sierra Campbell. Rebecca Ann Cooker, cum laude. Robert Thomas Cooker. Kylie Ann Hawkins. Kayla Nicole Holbert. Zena Ann McConnell, magna cum laude. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science and Occupational Therapy Assistant, Mariah K. Akers, magna cum laude. Jennifer Alexander. Krista Ann Belding, summa cum laude. Olivia Blair. Lisa Steele Brown. Tia Flanagan. Keely Elise Helton. Connor A. Irwin, magna cum laude. Andrea Johnson. Claire Lacey Leatherwood. Bobby G. Lee. Tabitha Louise Mecklenburg, magna cum laude. Billy Day Knopp, summa cum laude. Caroline Lancaster Novella. Katie Pasanen. Megan Lindsay Pierce. Jennifer Ashley Richardson, summa cum laude. Just first and last. Jeremy Scott. Abby Clark Smith, summa cum laude. Shayna Noel Sofa, summa cum laude. Madison Renee Trenum. Rebecca Jo Van Sciver, magna cum laude. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Opticianry, Dylan D. Adkins, magna cum laude. Donna K. Church. Mackenzie D. Cody. Sierra L. Cole, cum laude. Heather L. Canancer. Amanda Leanne Cook, also receiving an Associate of Science. Leslie Robert Jones. Casey Marie Loggins. Hannah Elise McDaniel, summa cum laude. Jonna Aaron Pope. Sarah B. Posey. Haley B. Turpin. Brittany D. Walden. Receiving the Associate of Applied Science as Physical Therapy Assistant, Crystal Boshears. Megan Wilson Bowe, summa cum laude. Kate Elizabeth Childs, summa cum laude. Sierra Nicole Hatfield Parton. Catherine Suzanne Hobson, magna cum laude. Riley Savannah Hunt, magna cum laude. Coy Daniel Kidd. Walter Scott Matlock, summa cum laude. Patrick Kyle McCann, U.S. Marine Corps. Tiffany Sally, magna cum laude. Kaylee Mariah Sharp, cum laude. Amy Brooke Steele, cum laude. Maya Elise Taylor, cum laude. Kristen P. Watson, magna cum laude. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Radiologic Technology, Wilbur Rufus Anderson III, summa cum laude. Toriana Lee Bryant, magna cum laude. Chad Taylor Walther, summa cum laude. Julie Brooke Bryson, magna cum laude. Allison K. Carithers, magna cum laude. Kate Suzanne Dixon, summa cum laude. Sharon Mohammed Elfar, summa cum laude. Daniel Christopher Fout, magna cum laude. Jasmine N. Harris, summa cum laude. Bailey M. Houston, cum laude. Destiny Lynn Jones, magna cum laude. Rachel Olivia Kelly, summa cum laude. Sarah Ann King, magna cum laude. Nicholas R. Cool. Leanna Lesnowski, magna cum laude.
It's just Felicia.
Felicia A. Mantooth. Christopher Michael Norris, magna cum laude. Lacey M. Pack, summa cum laude. Taylon Lewis Raines, cum laude. Helen Suzanne Simpkins, summa cum laude. Jimmy Leslie Sluter, Jr. Mariah Nicole Smith, cum laude. Jordan Litton Sperling, U.S. Marine Corps. Brittany Nicole Thomas. Jessica Renee Vance, magna cum laude. Lindsay N. Van Hoos, cum laude. Megan Denise Whaley, magna cum laude. Leah Nicole Witt, cum laude. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Respiratory Therapy, Summer Elizabeth Chambers, cum laude. Cornelu Daniel Konetsku. Jessica Goodner. Kayla M. Higdon. Deborah Lee Klein. Stacy Leanne McMurray. Jessica Ann Parker. Logan Samuel Smith, cum laude. Megan Joyce Usher. Anthony Franklin Ward. Graduating with an Associate of Applied Science in Surgical Technology, Shannon Paige Ashley, summa cum laude. Mariah K. Keys, cum laude. Sarah Rebecca Miller, magna cum laude. Allison Rose Schneck, summa cum laude. Natasha Renee Webb, cum laude. Graduating with a certificate in emergency medical technician, Holly Diane Freeman. Allison Michelle Raper. Natasha Strain. Advanced emergency medical technician, Matthew Brandon Wright, also receiving advanced emergency technician. Healthcare documentation specialist, Abigail Reed Green. Amber K. Moore. Shatara Sanders. Graduating with a certificate in massage therapy, Kristen Elizabeth Evans. Susanna Lane Grove, and she's also receiving an Associate of Applied Science Health Science degree. Jessica Ann Marie Copsey. Tamara M. Merrill. Megan Danielle Redwine. She's also receiving an Associate of Applied Science Health Science degree. Rebecca Faith Walker. Graduating with a certificate in pharmacy technician, Joylyn N. Elliott, and she also has an Associate of Applied Science Health Science cum laude. Shelby Lynn Humphrey. Caitlin Lachey McLean. Graduating with a certificate in polysomnography, Alicia Monet Daniels, and she also has an Associate of Applied Science Health Science cum laude. Molly Elisa Evans, who also has an Associate of Applied Science Health Science. Meredith Hayes. Brandy Nicole Heidelberg. Destiny S. Lowe. Joy Lynn Maples. Mark Christopher Weger, who also has an Associate of Applied Science, Health Science degree. Sammy Nicole Willis, also graduating with an Associate of Applied Science, Health Science. This is the Middle College Associate of Science, Roane County, Lindsay Morgan Buck. Mary Claire Crass, cum laude. Brooklyn Michelle Jones, magna cum laude. Olivia Taylor Morrison. This is the Emergency Medical Technician Certificate for Austin Logan Knight.
All right, just making sure all photos are taken. Good, we are in good shape there. So, now, collectively and officially, ladies and gentlemen, would the audience please join me in congratulating the class of 2018? Of course, we can't end this evening without recognizing, of course, that each student has achieved a significant milestone in their lives, but as with any accomplishment, they have not done this alone. And perhaps most importantly, I expect that none of these graduates who have received their respective degrees or certificates tonight have done so without the support of family and friends. So, if you have played any role as a family member, a friend, if you've offered a word of encouragement, if you've helped in any way to make it possible for these students to become our graduating class of 2018, I would now like to ask all of you, please, to be honored by asking our graduates to stand and join me in thanking all of you. Class? Don't sit down. Don't sit down. Our faculty have challenged our graduates and have made it possible for them to learn, expand their educational horizons. So graduates, now, would you please join me in thanking this world-class faculty that's taught you, and let's thank them. Remain standing. One more thing. It's kind of a tradition here at Roane State, one of the areas I'll call a president's prerogative. I get the first selfie with the graduating class. You may be seated now. I want to thank our faculty and staff who've worked so diligently to make this evening possible. You can imagine that events like this don't occur without lots of planning, lots of hard work, let alone replicating it 3 times. So we want to thank everyone who has been involved in this, including certainly and especially our graduation committee, so ably chaired by Ms. Catherine Rhodes, who is the Dean of Student Academic Services. Wave at everyone. Kathy, thank you, ma'am, as always. One more congratulations, please, to our graduates. This concludes our ceremony. Refreshments are being served in the courtyard, which is just through the doors here at the top of the mezzanine. If you will please stand as the stage party, faculty and graduates exit the floor. Have a good evening.